You ready? Yeah, she's ready. Hey everyone, welcome to Walks with Moss. Today we're going hiking on a gated logging road and then some trails that connect to the logging road. The last time we came here there were brush pickers everywhere, and I'm starting to see some brush picking activity in the forest again. So I think it's good if I get out here and hike in all my favorite places before brush picking season goes into full swing, and then we'll move somewhere else where we can get more solitude. So we're gonna go down to a beautiful, beautiful blue hole in the river, and I'm hopeful that we'll find some mushrooms. I'm still finding hedgehog mushrooms. They're frozen, but they cook up just fine. Our last hike was the one where we went 9 miles without any lunch. The next day when we got home, Bella was shivering. That was a Tuesday, and then Wednesday she seemed better, then Thursday worse again. So Friday I took her to the vet and they decided she probably had salmon poisoning or salmon sickness, which dogs can get by eating raw or undercooked trout, salmon, steelhead, or giant Pacific Northwestern salamanders. And she wasn't tested for salmon sickness because the test is expensive and not always reliable. So they went ahead and treated her for it, and she has made a full recovery. I'm so happy. It was expensive, but she's recovered. And I have spent $500 on Bella this month between her annual exam and her salmon sickness. Oh boy. Looks like they're getting ready to log in here. It makes sense. These are really nice trees. I see that this forest has been recently thinned, and usually that doesn't seem to be a good thing for the mushrooms. So I'm feeling a little bit less optimistic now that we're going to find any mushrooms today. But I'll keep looking. Bella is still on antibiotics for about another week, I guess. But she sure seems to have fully recovered. I'm so happy. Salmon sickness or salmon poisoning is fatal if untreated, or often fatal. It's caused by, as I said before, eating undercooked or raw salmon, trout, or salamanders. And they have these little worms, flatworms. I don't consider them worms because they're microscopic, and I have this hideous phobia of worms, but as long as these particular worms are microscopic, they don't freak me out as much. So there's these little microscopic flatworms that mostly live in the kidneys of the fish, but can even be on the slime. And they get into the dog and they embed themselves in the intestines, and that's actually not any big deal. But the problem is they have this bacteria that rides along with them, and apparently they inject this bacteria. I don't know why they do that, but they do. And the bacteria makes canines very, very ill. And it's something that only happens right here in the Pacific Northwest. And we're in the United States, Washington State, but you know, the Pacific Northwest of the world. Oh, I see a conch, but that's it. I'm not seeing anything else. Well, I think we got a, yeah, Lucaria lacata. I hope we find something today. This mushroom season is still giving. It's just the craziest mushroom season ever. It just gives and gives. I've canned so many chanterelles, and I've got frozen chanterelles as well. And I haven't had to break into any of my canned or frozen goods yet because I'm still finding mushrooms to eat on nearly every hike. Here's a great big frozen maple leaf. This is our Acer macrophyllum. You can make maple syrup with these, but they're not the actual maple tree that most maple syrup is made from. That's Acer macrophyllum. We're walking on a kind of decommissioned road here, so the going's getting a little bit rough. And I've got to be especially careful because it's frozen. Bella doesn't have to be so careful because she's got four-wheel drive. The trail is solid ice right there. Wow. Look at that. I'll work my way down the side. I'm really glad to be off that decommissioned road and into more of a trail. Here's some white berries here. I keep IDing them and then forgetting what they are. I think they're edible. Not sure. Oh, look at this. The salmon berries are actually starting to bud. Wow. I wonder if they're confused because it's so icy right now, but we had a warm winter until this week. Look at that. Wow. Spring is coming. Hey, buddy. Wait for me, huh? Wait for me. Here we have some late fall oyster mushrooms. Way too far gone. Wow, it's all frozen. The river's quite low for this time of year. Somewhere around in here, they found a bunch of sockeye salmon fossils. And then they dug them all out. But maybe there's more down there. You be careful, Bella. You're gonna fall in. I hope you can get back out. Hey, don't go too far out there. Come on, buddy. Don't go too far out there. Come on, get back up here. Come on, Bella, come on. There's a current. Come on, Bella, come on. Come on. Come on. I hope you can get back up that. That is slippery. Oh, good, good, good. I don't want her back down there. There's a current and there's a waterfall just down there. Don't need her falling in the waterfall. Spent too much money on you this month to lose you over the edge of a waterfall, buddy. Yeah. Have a nice drink. Here's the remnants of a lawn chair here. I sat in a lawn chair the last time I was in this area, but it wasn't right exactly here. I'm really hoping that the lawn chair that I sat in before is still around. This route through here just seems to get worse and worse every year. I think there was some sort of windstorm or something here that created a bunch of blowdowns. Just trying to walk on this frozen log. Oh man, this is a mess here. Wow. I kind of forgot how bad this was. This is not easy going at all. I don't like walking along the tops of logs at the best of times. But when it's frozen like this, it's even worse. And for this section right here, there isn't even anything for me to hold on to, so wow. This is probably dumb. I probably shouldn't be doing this. Gosh, that ice that I'm stepping on sure is pretty though. Okay, I made it over that. Now which way? Oh man, this is such a mess. I'm not sure which way I want to go. It's all just a mess. I kind of want to get off this log, but if I go over there, I'm going to be walking on things that are probably going to break if I walk on them, so I guess I'll stay on this log for a bit. Wow, don't like this. I don't want to fall and get hurt. One nice thing about this log I'm walking on is I'm walking down the tree, so it's getting thicker and a little bit easier to balance the farther along I go. Yeah, I think this is the best way through here, sadly. I think this is a deer mushroom right here. A frozen deer mushroom with some frozen moss. Another one there. Going on an alder log. Yeah, we definitely made it through the worst of the stuff getting in here. It'll be pretty easy now. Last time I was here, I found some camping gear that wasn't being properly stored and it was getting soaked, so I built a little A-frame over it with a nearby tarp. It'll be interesting to see how that camping gear is done. It's possible that other people have been back here since. There was a little campfire ring back at the river. And this is the woods where I think we have the best chance of finding any mushrooms on this hike. So I'm really keeping my eyes peeled now. But it really, honestly, doesn't look like that great of an area for mushrooms to me. Just better than the other areas we've already been through today. If they hadn't thinned back up the road, then I think we would have found some mushrooms up there, because that was a really nice looking area for mushrooms before they went through and thinned it. Here's my tarp. Or not really my tarp, I found it here. And it appears to be just exactly the way I left it. Wow. Of course, nothing's really dried out. Actually, it's a little bit drier than it was before. There's this sleeping bag back in here. The mice are probably getting to it, especially now that I've sheltered it. And there's a little thermos, or little cooler. Let's see if I can pull that out. And a plate and some dishes, and mostly just garbage. But yeah, it is faring a little bit well anyway under here. I thought I put the sleeping bag on top of this cooler so it wouldn't be on the ground. This little hatchet is still looking okay. I think I'm going to take it home with me, because I don't think I actually own a hatchet. Now, I thought I found a chair to sit on here last time, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I just sat on a log. I feel like I found a chair though, and I was like really, really comfortable just sitting down here under a tarp on a chair. Right there. But what did I do with the chair? Maybe that was the chair I saw frozen to the ground. Oh well, I can still sit on this log. We have a glacial moraine right here. This whole area was covered with a glacier, and I think there was an ice dam here even, and that caused salmon to get stuck. And that's why they found a whole bunch of salmon fossils in one spot. Let's look at these tracks down here in the sand. Oh, I see human tracks. Yep. Yeah, humans have been here recently. Doesn't look like they had a dog. Oh no, there we go. They had a dog. They had a big dog. Yep. Can't tell how many humans, maybe just one. But overall, this is a good place for solitude. I've never found anyone right in this exact spot before. If I had a lawn chair, this little gravel sandbar here would be a really cool place to sit and take it all in. I still might sit here. I'll just have to sit on the ground. There's a couple little waterfalls over there and a rope swing. Yeah, I may just plop down right here. Oh, is that a salmon down there? I think it's just garbage. There's something down there that looks a little bit like a salmon carcass, but I think it's just garbage. Still got to keep Bella out of the salmon just in case she didn't get salmon sickness. And also, if a dog gets salmon sickness, it will be immune to it, but only to that particular variety of salmon sickness that it caught. Apparently there's more than one variety, so I'll have to stay vigilant. And you have to quit eating disgusting things. Yeah. I've got a table and a chair now. It's time to sit down and cook that lunch that I didn't pack for our last trip. It turned out I actually packed it, I just put it in the wrong pack. So we are going to have a long overdue lunch. I forgot that I packed some dehydrated smoked trout skins for Bella for a treat. That's just about her favorite food in the world. And now that I've given her this, she will probably beg continuously. I've got my usual wild mushroom mix with dehydrated smoked trout and tomato sauce from last year's garden. And see some dehydrated mushrooms. The usual. Some flaked up garlic. Here's some winter chanterelle. Here's some jalapeno. Gonna add some water to that, get that simmering. Since the little stoves I use are so light, I went ahead and brought two. One for my water and one for my soup, so I can get them both going at the same time. No, Bella, you're done. Nope. And I have packed an extra package of ramen in my pack that will stay there at all times. So the next time I forget lunch, at least I'll be able to have some ramen. Yep. This is today's ramen. Bella's going to get about half of that. But not now. We gotta wait. Bella just found something nasty and fish-like to nibble on. Let's hope if it's got salmon sickness in it, it's the same strain she already had. I guess it's good she's already being treated for salmon sickness. This is horrible. I wish she would quit eating such awful stuff, but she's a dog. That's what dogs do. And she's well fed. She doesn't need to be eating hideous things in the woods. Yeah, I threw you a skin over there. Go find it. Leave the nasty stuff alone. Yeah, Bella definitely got into fish. Let's hope that she still can recover. She's already being treated for the sickness, and this fish here that she seems to have gotten into has been dead for a while, so maybe any worms in it are dead too since it's been freezing. That's so disappointing though. I'm not going to be able to take her anywhere but the high country for a while, I guess, but it's too cold in the high country, so maybe Bella's just going to have to sit out the next few hikes. I don't know, but I just feel so discouraged by this. I wasn't thinking about there being fish down here today. I should have thought of it, I guess. I didn't know fish could even get up here above the waterfall. I don't know 100% for sure that the nasty things Bella was eating were fish, but she was getting them down at the high water mark, whatever they were. She wouldn't let me see them. She'd run away whenever I'd try to stop her. Maybe I should just get the camera out whenever she does that, because whenever I get the camera out, she comes up and tries to mug me. So that would be a way to get her to come and relinquish whatever nasty thing she's eating, maybe. If I try to get her to stop eating nasty things, she just runs away with them. Not good. Not good. No, not good. It's almost coffee time. I've got my soup mixture in here in the cozy rehydrating a bit. The coffee should have been done first, but this little pop can stove, it went out twice. It's not as good in the cold weather as my cat stove here. I'm going to have my coffee, then when I'm done with that, I will go ahead and reheat my soup mix and add the noodles, and then we'll have our lunch. Well, Bella's already had her disgusting lunch. There's some Isothecium stoloniferum moss hanging down off a western red cedar snag, collecting the sunlight just right. I love that effect. This looks like an old fire pit. This is an old campsite. I think it's mostly just used by hunters. I don't think it gets much use now anymore. Over here we've got some gorgeous Hylocomium splendens moss. And it's got licorice fern growing down under it. The roots of this fern taste like licorice. I don't know how to harvest it without damaging the fern, so I don't bother. The common name for this moss is glittering wood moss or stairstep moss. And it's tripinnate, which is part of why it's so pretty. And it's growing here on a red alder. And I know the GoPro isn't going to be able to zoom in on this very well. See these dark patches here? That's a liverwort called Fruglania. And it is absolutely gorgeous under the microscope. A liverwort is a non-vascular plant, or a bryophyte. Moss is also non-vascular. Cheers, everyone. Hot coffee on a very cold and frosty day. And it's almost noodle time. It's cold and it's taken a while for my lunch to cook. My toes are getting cold. So I'm going to warm up my feet with my lunch while I wait for my noodles to finish cooking in there. Brr. And I've got some hot water going here. This little pop can stove just isn't working. I need to make some adjustments to it. They will work okay in the cold, but it needs some adjustments to get it to work better. It's made from a can of Tui beer from New Zealand. I use this on my hikes in New Zealand. Yay! It's finally time to eat, and I am more than ready. I'm getting cold. As soon as this is done, I think I'm going to get out of here. Just can't stay out here too long today in this cold. Sure is a gorgeous area, though. I wish I could get over to that gravel bar over there that's sunny, but there's a lot of river between me and it. It's actually in the middle of the river. It's actually an island. It looks a lot warmer over there than it is here. The noodles are done and they were good. Now I'm just going to have one more hot cup of coffee and then we're out of here. My fingers are freezing, my toes are freezing. I'm sitting here pondering things like the fact that in the end stages of hypothermia, people actually start taking their clothes off because they feel too hot. And it's already getting a little bit difficult for my fingers to tell the difference between hot and cold. Definitely about time to pack up and get out of here. After this coffee, we are gone. Well, that lunch and that second cup of coffee warmed me up very nicely. Now we just need to get out of here. Got to go back over that sketchy part. And then after that, I'll be hiking uphill, which should help warm me up a little bit. I can't say this was my favorite trip out here. It was cold, and Bella spent the entire lunch break finding bits of rotten fish in the bushes to eat. I don't think I'm going to worry about Bella and salmon sickness. A dog can only get it one time, probably. And she's never going to quit eating disgusting things, so it's either never take her hiking ever or just give up on it and hope that one bout of salmon sickness is all she'll ever have. We did not manage to find a better way out of there. Those sketchy ice-covered logs are it. I think there was a landslide up there, and that's why the going is so rough now. This is a really beautiful spot when the sun's hitting it. The water is just the most beautiful shade of blue. I'm glad we're through all that anyway. That was sketchy with the ice covering everything. It's sketchy to walk on this edge here too because it's overhanging. It's been undercut. I guess the only mushrooms we're going to find today are these frozen wood mushrooms. Nothing else out here. Mushroom season really is pretty much over, but I did get a bunch of hedgehog mushrooms just yesterday. So you can still get them depending on where you go. We're up in the mountains now. I really wasn't expecting Bella to find fish to get into. We're up in the mountains and we're upstream from a gorge that I didn't think a fish could even get through. But they did. When the water was higher, they certainly did. Yeah, maybe this was my chair. Maybe it got moved to here, I don't know. I just know my chair wasn't where it was before. I don't know if that's the same chair or not. I'll have to look at my last blog post from the last time I was here and see if that's the same chair I was sitting in before. All right, let's get out of here. Here we go. Just when I thought all hope was lost, we've got some late fall oyster mushroom. It's frozen solid, but that's Some of it's in good condition. Yeah, I guess I'll take that home. If it gets too slimy, well, I'll just take this half of that maybe. I slip those in the side pocket under my water bottle. And if they're not too disgusting when I get home, I'll eat them. I'll know for sure how disgusting they are once they thaw out. I mean, that's a mushroom that's disgusting even when it's not rotting. Probably not something I want to keep, but that's all there is out here today. These are not thawing out that nicely. They got some brown on them. I'm going to go ahead and toss them. Bella's way up there on the hillside. She's making her way back now. There's a pile of gravel there. That's probably a bad sign. Probably means imminent logging. Although they've already been through here and thinned, so maybe that's left over from when they thinned. I've not had any luck finding mushrooms in these areas that they've thinned. We are done with our hike. It was a bit low-key today because I didn't fall asleep till 4:30 in the morning, laying awake, worrying about current events here in the USA. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this really super low-key video, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.